Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and this is the series where we complete The Sims 3. And we will jump right back into the action where we left off in the last episode, with Pete working from home and Ayesha busy hacking. And just a few moments after we jump in, Pete finishes his first 2-hour session of working from home, but with all of his needs stable in the green, we will go for another one. And then we can already jump ahead to Patrick, who is now well rested and will begin his day with a round of fishing. He does have the wish to go fishing before 6 AM, however we run into problems thanks to his curfew there, so we would have to send an adult with him. We'll do that another day maybe. For now we can send him off to the lake alone and switch over to Ayesha, who made us 333 simoleons from hacking. We will now also have her work from home to fulfill a quick wish. And there it is, 150 lifetime happiness points, and Ayesha can now go out and on a collecting spree. Then we get the info that Patrick has already improved his fishing skill to level 2, and back at home Pete has stopped working from home because he's getting stressed out. Now we can counter that with a bit of computer gaming, and then switch back over to Ayesha, who needs to go to the hospital for an emergency. Well, looks like our collecting session comes to an end a bit early today, but we can of course use that to get our work performance up, which is always nice. As you can see, I've set Ayesha to work hard. Every inch of the performance meter she fills today could potentially translate into slacking off tomorrow, so we will gladly accept the challenge. Over at the lake, Patrick once again improved his fishing skill, now already at level 3, and we will have him continue for a while longer. Meanwhile, back at home Paul has gotten up and he will now do a bit of interacting with his father. Paul has the wish to become best friends with Pete, for some reason they're not at that level just yet, so we will have them work on it. And that first bit of chatting fulfills another wish for Paul, but we're still not at best friend status. While the two of them are busy, we can jump back over to the hospital. Ayesha has finished her emergency shift and will now go straight back to collecting. And after almost 2 hours of friendly interaction, Pete and his son Paul have finally become best friends, 750 lifetime happiness points for Paul, and he can now finally grab breakfast. In the background we can also see Pete has started to work from home again. With his fun bar slightly more filled now, I thought that was the right thing to do. A quick look over to Ayesha, who's doing fine on her collecting tour. And then back home to Paul, who's now cleaning up the rest of one of Patrick's muffins. The dishwasher still holds, I didn't expect anything else, and so Paul can now go outside and paint. There are only a few more paintings needed to complete the Brushmaster challenge, and I'd like to get that before Paul ages up to a young adult. At the lake, our little angler is proceeding at light speed. Patrick is now at level 4 of the fishing skill, and now it's time even for him to take a break and grab a bite to eat. Here on screen with Ayesha we can see the money coming in, and that means Pete has finished another session of working from home, which reminds me that we now have enough money to buy another venue. And for 18,680 simoleons we will send Ayesha off to purchase Crystal Springs. And here we are, that fulfills the wish to own 7 venues. I think Paul, Ayesha and Pete had that. Most importantly though, for Ayesha it gives us 7,000 lifetime happiness points, which means we now only need a handful to finally get 75,000 and be able to purchase the teleportation pad. Not to use it, but to upgrade it with Pete and grab the last remaining upgrade in the handiness skill. Back at home, Paul finishes another painting, the value slowly scratching the 200 simoleon mark. As usual, we can add that to our little gallery inside, while Paul can fill his hygiene bar back up and take a quick shower. Then with Ayesha we still have an opportunity left open: jog, work out and swim for 30 minutes each, and we can get started on the jogging part. We are promised a cash reward for this opportunity, and looking at our finances right now, I think we can definitely use that. Okay, that's enough for now. That was slightly over 30 minutes, but of course we want to play it safe. And as Ayesha makes her way back home, Pete finishes another round of working. As you can see in the queue on the top left of the screen, he will now take a shower and then grab a microwave meal. Meanwhile, Ayesha can begin working out using the TV. And a bit over 30 minutes later, while Pete grabs himself a meal, we can cancel the action again and send Ayesha to take a shower. With Pete already cleaning up the remains of his meal, Ayesha makes herself a fresh one. Well, as fresh as you can go while using the microwave at least. There is of course also a specific reason I'm using the microwave here. Obviously it is an electrical object, and breaking and then repairing those will get us closer to completing the handiness skill with Pete. And outside another painting is finished. Once again, let's find a free spot for that on the wall. And well, since it's not too late, let's begin another one. As you can see here, next to number of paintings created, we only need 3 more until we have 30, which will then unlock the Brush Master challenge that allows us to paint much faster, and with that unlocked we can finally switch to large paintings and start making some serious cash. Back inside, a wish fulfilled for Pete, who wanted to quickly chat with his wife, but both of them are tired now, so they can go to sleep. In 2 separate beds, however, because again the relationship between Paul and Patrick is not yet good enough to allow them both to sleep in the same bed. Their relationship with their parents is, however, for both of them much better, so any combination of parent and son works just fine. And while Ayesha is asleep, we can start to sell a bit of the stuff from her inventory, mostly space rocks, gems that we already have on display outside, or just metals like iron and silver that make more profit if they're sold directly without being smelted. And as you can see, after his little lunch break earlier, we sent Patrick back to the lake to fish, and believe it or not, after day 2 of practicing that skill, he's already at level 5. I did send him to a different location this time in the hopes that he finds a few other fish. The inventory here is well mixed, and Patrick will now head back home. After all, tomorrow is his first day of school, and his curfew is also rapidly approaching. So he can now quickly hop under the shower, and while he does, we can, pardon the pun, plant the seeds for his next skill. Paul can take a quick break from painting and plant some lettuce and tomato. As a child, Patrick cannot plant these himself, but he can very well take care of them and raise his gardening skill. For now, they don't require any care, however, and so we can already send Patrick off to bed. And while he's getting ready to sleep, we can sell what he has in his inventory. Lots and lots of fish, nothing really of value yet, but it does add up. And so we made just over 200 simoleons from that. And with everyone asleep, we now only have to wait for Paul to finish his painting. And there it is, still not worth 200 simoleons though, he better step it up soon. However, I think at least for the moment we can stop painting with Paul. Let's have him grab a microwave meal before bed. Okay, and unfortunately both the microwave and the trash compactor did not break. I would have loved for a bit of chaos here to end the episode. And yes, you heard that right, as we sent Paul off to sleep here, we once again have to make an early cut. It has not been the luckiest week for me, to say the least. My computer had so many issues at the same time that I spent almost 4 days fixing all of that. From my mouse not working to my motherboard almost giving up on me to me having to do a complete reinstall of Windows, there were just a barrage of issues, and for that reason I had very little time to record some actual game footage. I hate that as much as you do, probably even more, and I would love to get a longer episode out next week. We have a lot of things coming up very soon, the handiness skill with Pete, the Brush Master challenge with Paul, and I hope I can cover all of that in the next episode. If you are for some reason actually interested in all of the problems I had with my computer these past few days, feel free to follow me on Twitter, where I went a bit more into detail. As for this video, we can now wrap things up, and I can say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!